We're doing something a little different. We're going to build an itinerary.
Ooh, fun.
For a first trip to Japan.
Okay.
And a big one.
Okay.
A whole month.
A month. Wow.
4 weeks.
That's ambitious. I like it.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
So we're talking a deep dive.
A deep dive.
Into all things Japan.
All things Japan for 4 weeks.
And we want to do it right for someone who's never been.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So first things first. When should they go?
When? Well, that's a big question because Japan, has 4 distinct seasons.
Yeah.
And each season has its own kind of magic.
Right.
I mean, if you're talking about iconic imagery. You've got those beautiful cherry blossoms in spring.
Yeah.
Like late March to May, you're going to see those pink blossoms everywhere.
That's really popular, though, right? So it might be crowded.
Yeah, spring is definitely the most popular time to go. You'll see bigger crowds. You might pay a little more for things. But there's a reason it's so popular. It is magical.
Yeah.
If you're looking for something maybe a little more tranquil,
right.
Fall is beautiful too.
Yeah, those fall colors, right?
Yeah, September to November, you get those brilliant reds, oranges, and yellows, especially like up in the mountains. The weather is still really nice.
Okay.
It's a bit less crowded.
Less crowded, yeah.
Yeah, so it depends on what you're looking for.
What about summer and winter?
Yeah.
Like, are those totally off the table, or do they have their own kind of appeal?
Oh, definitely not off the table.
Okay.
Every season has its charm, right?
Okay.
Summer, like June to August.
Yeah.
It can be hot. It can be humid.
Yeah.
But it's festival season.
Oh, fun.
There's lots of energy, lots of outdoor events.
Right.
You can go hiking in the Japanese Alps.
Cool.
You can eat all that kakigori, that shaved ice. It's delicious.
Oh, that's refreshing.
Yeah.
Now, what about winter?
Winter is, it's going to be cold, obviously.
Yeah.
But you can go skiing or snowboarding in Hokkaido.
Oh, nice.
They have amazing powder.
Wow.
And, you get to see those iconic sites like, Mount Fuji covered in snow.
Yeah.
The onsen, the hot springs are even better when it's cold outside.
Cozy.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we have a lot of choices.
We do.
So it really comes down to, like, what's our listener looking for right now?
Yeah. Do you want to chase those specific sites like the cherry blossoms, or is it more about experiencing the season, the kind of overall vibe?
Right.
I think once you've got the timing figured out, then we can really dig into, like, building the itinerary.
Yeah, that's going to be the fun part.
Yeah.
All right. So let's dive into week 1.
Okay.
Where better to start than Tokyo?
Tokyo, the heart of it all.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that futuristic, that kind of sci-fi movie vibe.
It is.
But then also, you turn a corner and there's this ancient temple.
Right. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a city of contrasts. I mean, you've got the bright lights, the skyscrapers, the crowds.
Yeah.
But you can also find these pockets of peace and quiet in the gardens and shrines.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So where do we even begin with Tokyo?
Well, I think for a first-timer, you have to hit those iconic districts.
Okay.
The ones that really capture the essence of Tokyo.
Right.
Like Shibuya.
Shibuya, yeah.
With that famous scramble crossing.
Oh, yeah.
It's wild. Thousands of people crossing the intersection at the same time.
I've seen, like, the videos. It looks crazy.
Yeah. It's like organized chaos.
Yeah.
It's a must-see.
Okay, what else?
Shinjuku.
Okay.
That's where you'll find the Tokyo Metropolitan Government Building.
Okay.
You can go up to the top and get a panoramic view of the city.
Oh, cool. For free?
Yeah, and they have the Shinjuku Gion National Garden there, too.
Where we get, like, a little bit of nature.
Yeah, a little oasis in the middle of the city.
Nice. What else? What other districts?
Okay, so then you've got Harajuku.
Harajuku.
Now, this is like the center of youth culture and fashion.
Okay.
You go down Takeshita Street. It's this pedestrian street with all the crazy boutiques and crepe stands.
I've heard about those crepes.
Oh, the crepes are an experience, like piled high with whipped cream, fruit, all sorts of crazy toppings.
They look amazing in photos.
Oh, they're amazing. And the people watching in Harajuku is like an art form.
Right.
You'll see all sorts of amazing outfits.
Oh, wow. Okay, so we've got Shibuya, Shinjuku, Harajuku. What about some temples?
Yes. Can't forget the temples.
Yeah.
So head to Asakusa.
Okay.
That's where you'll find Sensuji Temple.
Sensuji Temple.
It's Tokyo's oldest temple.
Wow, that's cool.
It's really beautiful. And there's like this lively market street leading up to it.
So we can try some traditional Japanese snacks.
Yeah, definitely. And then if you're looking for a really authentic Tokyo culinary experience,
I am.
you got to go to Tsukiji Outer Market.
Tsukiji, okay.
This place is seafood heaven. It's like bustling with all these stalls, fresh seafood everywhere. You can get sushi, sashimi.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah.
That's where they used to have those like tuna auctions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So the inner market where the auctions were, that's moved to a new location, but the outer market is still there and it's amazing.
Cool.
Just, go early,
Okay.
beat the crowds, and you'll get the best stuff.
Early bird gets the freshest sushi.
Exactly.
All right, so lots to do in Tokyo.
So much to see.
But we don't want to just stay in Tokyo.
Oh, yeah, there's so much to see outside of Tokyo, too.
So what are some good day trip options?
Okay, well, first off, you have Nikko.
Nikko, okay.
It's about 2 hours by train.
Right.
It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site.
Fancy.
Yeah, and it's just like surrounded by nature, and it has these incredible temples and shrines,
Right.
especially to Shogu Shrine. It's like a masterpiece, all these ornate carvings and colors.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
What about something a little more like laid back, a little more chill?
Okay, so then you've got Kamakura.
Kamakura.
It's only an hour south of Tokyo.
Okay.
It's a coastal town,
Oh, nice.
famous for the great Buddha statue.
Oh, I've seen photos of it.
It's huge, just embodies this sense of peace and tranquility.
Okay.
You can also walk along the beaches,
Cool.
explore the temples. It's just a nice, relaxing atmosphere.
Okay, so we've got Tokyo.
A whirlwind of Tokyo.
Yeah, and these day trips to Nikko and Kamakura, I'm already feeling overwhelmed in a good way.
It's just the beginning.
But week 2, we're changing gears a bit, right?
Completely different vibe.
We're heading to Kyoto,
Kyoto, yes.
the heart of traditional Japan.
Yeah, get ready to slow down, soak in that ancient culture,
Yeah,
visit those serene temples,
I'm ready.
the geisha districts. It's a whole different world.
I can't wait.
Yeah,
Kyoto, here we come.
let's do it.
All right, we'll be back next time for week 2.
Okay, Kyoto.
Kyoto.
This is where you really feel that traditional Japan. You know those ancient streets, the temples, the geisha?
I'm ready to be transported back in time.
You will be. It's like stepping into another world.
Okay, so much to see. Where do we even begin?
Well, you have to start with Fushimi Inari Shrine.
Fushimi Inari.
Yeah, it's one of the most iconic sites, not just in Kyoto, but in all of Japan.
Okay.
I mean, picture this. Thousands of those vibrant orange torii gates.
I've seen photos.
Yeah,
It's like a pathway into another world.
it is. And they just wind their way up the mountainside through the
Yeah.
forest.
Wow. So what's the story behind those gates?
So each gate is actually a donation to the shrine
Okay.
from, individuals or businesses.
Interesting.
And so when you're walking through them, you're really walking through centuries of like history and devotion.
That's powerful.
Yeah, it's really special.
Okay, what other temples or shrines should we see?
Okay, so another iconic one is Kinkakuji,
Kinkakuji.
the Golden Pavilion. It's this Zen Buddhist temple, and it's completely covered in gold leaf.
Wow.
And it's just perched on the edge of this like perfectly still pond.
Oh, I bet the reflection is amazing.
It's incredible, especially when the sun hits it just right.
Beautiful. Okay, but there are so many temples in Kyoto.
There are.
How do we choose? Are there like any hidden gems that you recommend?
Yes, definitely. I mean, those iconic temples are must-sees, but there's also something really special about finding those quieter temples.
Yeah.
Where you can escape the crowds and just find some peace.
Right.
Like, for example, Rionji Temple.
Rionji Temple, okay.
It's famous for its Zen rock garden.
A rock garden.
Yeah, it's like this minimalist masterpiece designed for, meditation and contemplation. It's
Right.
just like rocks and raked gravel.
Okay.
But it's really powerful. You can just sit there and just like let your mind wander.
I love that. Okay, Rionji Temple, I'm adding that to the list.
Yeah, and as far as gardens go, you've got to check out Sahoji Temple.
Sahoji.
It's also called the Moss Temple.
The Moss Temple.
Yeah, because it's covered in moss, like over 120 varieties of moss.
Wow, what?
Yeah, it's incredible. It's
Yeah.
like this, like a lush green world.
It sounds magical.
It is magical. You do need reservations in advance, though.
Okay, worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so temples, gardens. Now we have to talk about geisha.
Ah, yes. The geisha.
It's such a fascinating part of Japanese culture.
Yeah.
What's the best way to experience that in Kyoto?
The Ejin district.
Again. Okay.
Yeah, that's the heart of geisha culture.
All right.
It's, all those narrow streets lined with wooden buildings.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky, you might catch a glimpse of a geisha or a maiko, which is an apprentice geisha.
Oh, okay.
But remember, they're not like performers or tourist attractions.
Right.
Treat them with respect. Don't be intrusive.
Of course. Of course. So are there any specific places in Gin where we might be more likely to see geisha?
You can try Hanamikoji Street.
Hanamikakoji Street. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful, well-preserved street.
Right.
Lots of tea houses, restaurants, those exclusive ochaya, which are the geisha houses.
Okay. I'll keep my eyes peeled.
Even if you don't see a geisha, it's just a lovely area to walk around.
Soak in the atmosphere.
Yeah. And, while you're in Kyoto, you can't miss the bamboo forest.
Oh, yeah, the bamboo forest.
In Arashiyama. It's on the outskirts of the city.
Okay.
But it's worth the trip. It's just like these towering bamboo stalks.
Yeah.
And they sway gently in the breeze. It's really peaceful.
It sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it's kind of otherworldly.
Okay, so we've got temples, gardens, geisha districts, bamboo forests.
It's a lot.
Now, let's talk about food.
Yes.
What culinary delights await us in Kyoto?
Oh. Kyoto is a foodie paradise. I mean, this is the home of kaiseki.
Kaiseki, okay.
It's like this traditional multi-course dining experience that's really about like artistry and presentation as much as it is about flavor.
That's like a whole experience.
It is, yeah. It's carefully choreographed, to engage all your senses.
Wow.
And each dish is like a work of art showcasing those seasonal ingredients, very delicate flavors.
Okay, I'm definitely trying kaiseki in Kyoto.
Yeah.
But what about something a bit more casual?
Oh, well, Kyoto is also known for its vegetarian cuisine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a strong Buddhist influence there.
Right.
With shojin ryori, which is like Buddhist vegetarian cuisine.
Interesting.
And it's not just, plain vegetables. It's really beautiful, really flavorful.
Okay, I'm adding that to my list too.
Yeah.
Kyoto is sounding more and more amazing.
It is an incredible city.
All right, so we could spend weeks in Kyoto.
You could.
But we have more of Japan to explore.
We do.
So week 3, what's on the agenda?
Week 3 is all about reflection, a little bit of history, and some modern exploration.
Okay.
We're going to start in Hiroshima.
Hiroshima, wow.
Yeah. A city that, holds a lot of weight, a lot of history.
Yeah, heavy history.
Yeah.
What's the best way to experience that?
I mean, you have to visit the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park and Museum.
Yeah, I've heard it's very powerful.
It is. It's incredibly moving. The park itself is built on the site where the bomb was dropped.
Right.
And the museum tells the story of the bombing and its aftermath through, artifacts, photographs, personal accounts. And it's a sobering experience, but it's also a reminder of resilience and the importance of peace.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So besides the historical significance, what else is there to see in Hiroshima?
Well, Hiroshima is a modern city.
Okay.
It's rebuilt itself and it's vibrant.
Okay.
You can take a walk along the Hankawa River.
Okay.
Check out the Shukaien Garden,
I
which
love
is this beautiful traditional Japanese garden.
Yeah.
And you got to try the Hiroshima-style okonomiyaki.
Okonomiyaki. All right, I'm writing that down.
It's like this savory pancake.
Okay.
With noodles, cabbage, all sorts of toppings.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, we also talked about an island with a floating torii gate.
Oh, Miyajima Island.
Miyajima.
Yeah, you can actually take a ferry there from Hiroshima. It's
Right.
really easy. And yeah, it's home to the Itsukushima Shrine.
Okay.
With that famous torii gate that looks like it's floating on the water.
It's incredible. I've seen pictures.
It really is stunning, especially at high tide.
Wow.
And there's also like friendly wild deer that wander around the island.
How fun.
Lush forests. You can hike up Mount Mizzen.
Cool.
You can take a ropeway for like panoramic views. It's really beautiful.
Okay, so we've got Hiroshima, Miyajima Island. Then we're heading to a city with a vibrant food scene.
Yes. Fukuoka.
Fukuoka, okay.
It's on the island of Kyushu.
Okay.
And it's known for its ramen.
Ramen, okay.
Hakata ramen.
Hakata ramen.
Yeah. It's got this rich, creamy tonkatsu broth.
Tonkatsu, right?
Yeah. Pork bone broth.
Okay.
Thin noodles, and then toppings, chashu pork, marinated egg, green onions.
I am so there. So besides ramen, what else should we do in Fukuoka?
Fukuoka's got a nice mix of modern and historical stuff.
Okay.
So you can go up the Fukuoka Tower,
All right.
get those panoramic views of the city.
Right.
You can explore Canal City Hakata, which is this cool shopping and entertainment complex.
Okay.
And you can visit the Dazaifu Tenmangu Shrine.
The Zaifu Tenmongu Shrine.
Yeah, it's dedicated to the god of learning.
Okay.
So it's a popular spot for students.
Cool. All right, so week 3, we're going from Hiroshima to Miyajima to Fukuoka.
Quite the journey.
It's a lot. Now, week 4, we've got an optional, highly recommended.
Only recommended adventure.
We're heading north.
To Hokkaido.
Hokkaido, the northern island.
The wild, untamed frontier of Japan.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, Hokkaido's totally different from the mainland.
Okay.
It's all about vast open spaces,
Okay.
rolling hills, mountains,
Sounds
lakes.
beautiful.
Yeah. And it's got this unique blend of Japanese and Ainu cultures,
I knew. Okay.
the indigenous people of Hokkaido.
Interesting. So where do we even begin in Hokkaido? I'd start with Sapporo.
Sapporo, the capital.
Yeah, it's a modern city,
Okay.
famous for its snow festival
Oh, yeah, the snow festival.
in February.
Beautiful.
They have amazing miso ramen there.
All right.
And the Sapporo Beer Garden and Museum,
Cool.
so you can learn all about Japan's oldest beer brand.
Okay, Sapporo, I'm sold.
Right.
What else? What other stops in Hokkaido?
Okay, so from Sapporo, you can take a quick train ride to Otaru.
Oh, Taro, okay.
It's a charming port town,
Nice.
known for its historic canal district,
Oh, cool.
and they have glass-blowing workshops there
Interesting.
and amazing seafood.
Okay, so a little bit of everything.
Yeah, Otaru's got a lot going on.
I like it.
Yeah.
Now, you said there was one more stop?
One more stop.
Yeah.
About 2.5 hours from Sapporo, you've got B.
B?
Yeah, this is like picture postcard Japan.
Okay.
It's famous for its patchwork hills.
Patchwork Hills.
Yeah. So it's all these rolling hills, and they're covered in different crops.
So depending on the season, you get these different colors and patterns.
Beautiful. All right, Bay's going on the list. So we've got this amazing itinerary,
Yeah,
but we have to talk about logistics.
right.
How do we get around Japan?
So Japan has an amazing transportation system.
Okay.
It's very efficient. You have tons of options.
Okay, let's talk about the bullet train first.
Okay, the Shinkansen.
The Shinkansen.
It's iconic. I mean,
Yeah.
you're zipping through the countryside at like 320 kilometers per hour.
Wow.
It's so smooth, it's comfortable,
Nice.
and the scenery's amazing.
Is it expensive?
So if you're planning on doing a lot of traveling by bullet train, especially if you're going up to Hokkaido,
Okay.
look into the Japan Rail Pass.
The Japan Rail Pass. Okay.
It gives you unlimited travel on most JR lines, including the Shinkansen, for like a set period of time.
All right, I'll look into that. Now, what about getting around within the cities?
Okay, so within the cities, the subways are fantastic.
I've heard they're really efficient.
Super efficient.
Yeah.
Easy to navigate.
Even if you don't speak Japanese.
Even if you don't speak Japanese.
Okay.
The signage is usually in English as well.
Okay, good.
And they're pretty affordable.
Okay.
Just make sure you have a good map or a navigation app.
All right, good tip.
Oh.
What about, like, those local trains that, kind of go through the countryside?
Oh, yeah, those are great too.
Yeah,
They're slower, obviously.
Right.
And the bullet train.
but more scenic.
Yeah, much more scenic.
Yeah.
And they take you to those smaller towns and villages.
I like that.
Yeah.
More off the beaten path.
Exactly. And then you have buses.
Buses, okay.
They're usually the cheapest option.
Okay,
They can be a bit slower than the trains,
right.
but they often go to places that the trains don't.
All right, so we've got bullet trains for speed, subways for cities, local trains, and buses.
Yes, yeah, you're well connected.
So we've got all our transportation covered.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's talk about where we're going to lay our heads at night.
Accommodations.
Yeah, we talked about hotels, ryokans, hostels.
Yeah, Japan's got a wide range.
So how do we choose?
Well, it really depends on, your budget, your preference,
Right.
what kind of experience you're looking for.
Okay, so let's start with hotels. What can we expect from a Japanese hotel?
So Japanese hotels are known for being very clean,
Okay. Rosie.
very efficient,
Fair.
great service.
Nice.
You'll find everything from like those business hotels in the city centers to like resort hotels out in the more scenic areas.
Okay.
And a lot of them have onsen.
Onsen, those hot spring baths.
Yes, the hot spring baths.
I'm so excited to try an onsen.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
It's like a real part of Japanese culture.
Right.
It's not just about getting clean. It's about like the therapeutic properties of the hot spring water.
Yeah.
Soaking in a hot bath, surrounded by nature, super relaxing.
Oh my gosh, I need that.
Yeah.
Okay, what about ryokans, those traditional Japanese inns?
Ryokans, yeah. Staying in a ryokan is like an experience in itself. Okay.
You sleep on futon beds, on tatami floors.
Okay.
You wear yukata, those traditional robes.
No, love that.
They often have kaiseki meals served in your room
Oh, wow.
or in a communal dining area. And a
Yeah.
lot of them have onsen as well.
Oh, that's amazing. So you really get that full cultural immersion.
You do. It's a great way to experience traditional Japanese hospitality.
All right. Now, what if we're on a tighter budget?
Okay, so hostels are a great option,
Okay.
especially for solo travelers.
Right.
Or people who are looking to meet other travelers.
Yeah.
You can get dorm-style rooms,
Right.
shared bathrooms,
Right.
communal areas.
Yep.
But a lot of them also have private rooms if you want a little more privacy.
Okay. Good to know. All right, so we've got lots of accommodation options, but now we need to talk about something important.
Oh, yeah.
Culture and etiquette.
Ah, yes. Very
We
important.
want to be respectful, right?
Yes, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
Japanese people are known for being incredibly polite.
So it's important to reciprocate that respect.
Right. So give us the key customs that we need to know.
Okay, so bowing.
Bowing, yeah.
That's the customary greeting.
Okay.
And for tourists, a slight nod is usually enough.
Okay.
But it's good to kind of observe how the locals bow to kind of get a sense of,
The nuances.
the nuances, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's customary to exchange gifts,
Oh, I like that.
especially omiyage,
Omiyage.
which are like local specialties,
Okay.
if you're visiting someone's home or as a thank you to your host.
That's such a nice gesture.
Yeah.
Okay, what about table manners?
Table manners are pretty similar to the West,
Okay.
but, there are a few key things to keep in mind.
Right.
It's polite to lift your bowl to your mouth when you're eating rice or soup,
Okay.
and you're supposed to slurp your noodles,
Oh, good.
especially ramen. It's considered a sign of enjoyment.
So slurping is encouraged.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
What about temples? Are there any specific things we should or shouldn't do at temples?
Yeah, you want to dress modestly,
Okay.
and you always take your shoes off before entering.
Okay.
They usually have slippers you can wear,
Okay.
but it's a good idea to wear socks
Okay.
and just generally be mindful of the volume of your voice.
Okay.
Japan is, relatively quiet,
Okay.
so try not to speak too loudly, especially on public transportation.
Got it. Okay, I think we're ready to be model tourists,
I think so.
but now we have to talk about the main event,
Which is?
the food.
Ah, yes, the food.
Japanese food is amazing.
It really is.
It's one of the main reasons to go to Japan.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all about fresh ingredients,
Yeah.
quality, variety. It's a whole sensory experience.
It's not just about eating, it's about the whole thing.
That's the whole experience.
Okay, so we've talked about sushi and ramen.
We have.
What else should we be eating in Japan?
Oh, there's so much. Every region has its own specialties.
Oh.
So in Osaka,
Yeah.
you got to try the okonomiyaki.
I think we've heard of that.
It's like a savory pancake, all sorts of toppings.
Okay, yeah.
And Nagoya,
Yes.
famous for hitsumabushi.
It's sumobushi.
It's grilled eel over rice.
Okay.
And it comes with all these different toppings and broths.
Oh, why?
It's like a multisensory dining experience.
Yeah, my mouth is watering. Okay, now what about vegetarian options?
Oh, there are tons of vegetarian options.
Good.
Japan is great for fresh vegetables.
Okay.
You can get amazing tofu dishes,
All right.
vegetable tempura,
Nice.
and remember shojin ryori?
Yeah, the Buddhist vegetarian cuisine.
Yeah, that's a really unique experience.
Okay, cool. So from street food to fancy restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Japan has it all.
They really do.
All right, now let's talk budget.
Okay.
How much can we expect to spend on this month-long trip?
So Japan can be as expensive or as affordable as you want it to be. Okay.
You have a lot of control over your spending.
Okay, that's good to know. So first up, flights. How much are we looking at for flights?
So round-trip flights to Japan can range from $800 to $1,200.
Oh,
It depends where you're flying from, the time of year,
right.
how far in advance you book.
Okay, so it could be a big chunk of the budget. Now, what about accommodations?
Okay, so for accommodations, we talked about everything from hostels to ryokans.
Yeah.
You can find budget hostels for as little as $30 a night,
Okay.
but those luxury ryokans can cost upwards of $100 a night,
Right.
especially if you're in a popular tourist area.
Okay.
Mid-range hotels, you're probably looking at $50 to $80.
Okay, that's reasonable.
Yeah.
What about food?
Okay, food is great in Japan because you can eat well on any budget.
Okay, good.
You can easily have a bowl of ramen or some street food for $10 a meal.
Okay.
But if you want to go to a fancy restaurant, you could easily spend $30 or more per meal. Okay, so it really just depends on what we're feeling like that day.
Exactly.
All right, what about transportation? We've got bullet trains, subways, buses.
Yeah, so if you're planning to do a lot of traveling, definitely get that Japan Rail Pass.
Okay.
It'll save you a lot of money.
Right.
That'll be between $200 and $300.
Okay.
And then for subways and buses, those fares are pretty reasonable.
Right.
Usually a couple dollars per ride.
Okay, so all in all, what's a realistic budget for this month-long trip?
I'd say, realistically, you're looking at somewhere between $2,500 and $4,500
Okay.
for the whole month.
So a decent amount.
Yeah,
But I mean, it's an experience of a lifetime.
exactly.
Do you have any like last-minute budgeting tips?
Yeah, take advantage of free stuff.
Okay.
There's a lot of free stuff to do in Japan.
Okay, like what?
Like, beautiful parks, gardens, temples.
Oh, right.
A lot of them are free to visit. And look for discounts.
Okay.
Like combination tickets or day passes for
Yeah.
attraction. And eat like a local.
Like a local, yeah.
Go to the markets, the street food stalls.
Right.
You can get amazing food for really cheap.
I love those budgeting tips.
Yeah.
So we've covered a lot. We know where we're going, how much it's going to cost.
You have a plan.
We have a plan. Now let's talk about like essential items.
Right.
Like what do we need to pack?
All right. Well, first and foremost, make sure your passport's valid.
Passport.
Yeah. You need at least 6 months of validity remaining after your planned return date.
Okay.
And double check the visa requirements.
Visa, yeah.
Depending on your nationality, you may need a visa.
Okay. What about like staying healthy?
Okay, travel insurance is always a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
It gives you peace of mind
Right.
in case of any, medical emergencies or lost luggage.
Right.
And talk to your doctor about vaccinations,
Vaccinations, yeah.
any medications you might need.
Okay, so we've got all the health stuff covered. Now, what about just like practical items? What do we need to make our lives easier?
Okay, so Japan uses Type A plugs,
Okay.
so you'll need an adapter.
An adapter, yeah.
You don't want to show up with a dead phone and no way to charge it.
No, not good.
And I'd recommend like a portable Wi-Fi device
Okay.
or a SIM card with data
Right.
so you can stay connected.
That's important, yeah. Yeah. What about safety? I've heard Japan's a pretty safe country.
Yeah, Japan is generally very safe,
Okay.
very low crime rate. But, it's always good to be aware of your surroundings,
Right.
especially if you're traveling alone at night
Right.
or in unfamiliar areas.
Yeah.
Just keep an eye on your belongings. Trust your instincts.
Okay. Any other like safety concerns we should be aware of?
Well, Japan is prone to natural disasters,
Right.
earthquakes, typhoons.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend familiarizing yourself with like basic safety procedures.
All right.
Maybe download Japan's official safety app.
Okay.
It gives you real-time alerts.
All right. I'll download that. Okay. So I think we've covered all the essentials.
I think so.
Now I have a few like lingering questions.
Okay, shoot.
Like, what about the language barrier? Is it hard to get around if you don't speak Japanese?
You'd be surprised how much English you'll find,
Oh, okay.
especially in the cities and tourist areas.
Okay.
A lot of the signs are in English.
Right?
A lot of restaurants have English menus.
Good.
But, learning a few basic phrases is always a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, hello, thank you, excuse me.
Right.
It shows that you're making an effort.
Yeah.
And people appreciate that.
Cool. Okay, what about money? Like, should we be using cash, credit cards? What's the best way to handle money in Japan?
So Japan is still pretty cash-based,
Okay.
but credit cards are becoming more widely accepted,
Not
especially in bigger places.
Right.
So it's good to have a mix of both. Yeah, definitely.
Right. So I would, like, have some cash on me, but then use credit cards when I can.
Exactly. And for cash, you can exchange currency at banks,
Okay.
airports, some hotels.
All right. What about ATMs? Are those easy to find?
Yeah, ATMs are everywhere, but not all of them accept foreign cards.
Oh, okay.
So it's good to check with your bank before you go.
Yeah, to make sure everything's compatible.
Exactly.
All right, so we've talked about all the practical stuff, but now let's talk about something fun.
Okay, what's that?
Photography.
Ah, yes.
Japan's so beautiful.
It's a photographer's dream.
Yeah, so many photo ops. Do you have any tips for taking, like, amazing photos in Japan?
I mean, whether you're using a fancy camera or just your phone,
Right.
the key is to really be observant.
Okay.
Look for those unique angles,
Okay.
experiment, and just like embrace the beauty of every moment.
Yeah. Okay, so what kind of camera gear should we be packing?
Honestly, the best camera is the one you have with you.
Yeah, true.
If you're really into photography, a DSLR, a mirrorless camera with some different lenses, that's great.
Right.
But you can get incredible shots with just your phone these days.
Yeah, especially if you know what you're doing.
Exactly.
So what about those, like, iconic landmarks?
Yeah.
How do we photograph those in a way that's, like, not just the typical tourist shot?
Yeah, so with those popular spots, try to find a different angle.
Okay.
Play with the composition, the light and shadow.
Okay.
get creative.
Yeah.
Like instead of just taking a straight-on shot of a temple, maybe frame it through a doorway or get its reflection in a pond.
I like that.
Yeah.
Now, what about street photography? Like, how do we capture the energy of, like, Tokyo?
Street photography in Japan is amazing.
Yeah.
There's so much going on.
Yeah.
So for cities like Tokyo, maybe use a faster shutter speed
Yeah.
to freeze the motion.
Okay.
And look for interesting juxtapositions like colors, textures, subjects.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to get close. You know, capture those candid moments.
Yeah.
But of course, be respectful.
Right.
Ask permission if you're taking photos of people.
Of course. Of course. Now, what about landscapes? Japan has such stunning landscapes.
Yeah, the landscapes are incredible.
Yeah. How do we do those justice?
So for those big sweeping landscapes, maybe use a wide-angle lens,
Okay.
you know, to really capture the scale.
Okay.
And pay attention to the light.
The light. Yeah.
The golden hours are great for landscape photography.
Golden hours, like sunrise and sunset.
Yeah, you get that beautiful, soft, warm light.
Okay.
And don't forget to include some foreground elements,
Foreground elements. Okay.
like flowers, rocks, trees.
Right.
It gives the photo more depth.
Okay. That's a good tip.
Yeah.
What about photographing like festivals or ceremonies or traditional events?
Okay, so for those kinds of events, the key is to be respectful.
Right.
Observe any rules.
Right.
Try to capture the energy, the emotion.
Yeah.
You know, focus on the details like costumes, decorations, people's expressions.
Okay.
Use a fast shutter speed to freeze the action.
Right.
And you might need a flash to fill in the shadows if it's like a darker setting.
Okay. Good tip. Any other like last minute photography advice?
I mean, just experiment.
Okay.
Have fun. Don't be afraid to like break the rules.
Yeah.
Try new things.
Okay.
And most importantly, just enjoy the process of capturing your adventure.
I love that. Okay. So we've talked about like what we're seeing, but now let's talk about what we're hearing.
Okay.
Like what kind of music should we be listening to kind of get in the mood for Japan?
Japan has a really diverse music scene.
Yeah.
You've got everything from like ancient court music to modern J-pop.
Okay. So where should we start?
Well, if you're into traditional music,
Okay.
check out Gagaku.
Dagaku.
It's ancient court music.
Okay.
It's very like formal and ceremonial.
Okay.
They have elaborate costumes and instruments.
Cool.
And then you've got minyo, which is folk music. It's been passed down through generations.
Right.
And then anka.
Anka.
It's like a popular genre of ballad.
Okay.
Very sentimental.
All right. What about something more modern?
If you like more modern music, definitely dive into J-pop. It's huge in Japan.
Yeah.
You've got everything from like pop songs to rock to electronic music.
Okay. Any artists or bands you recommend?
Yeah, check out Hikaru Utada.
Hikaru Utada. Okay.
She's a J-pop icon.
Okay.
And then there's a band called One Ok Rock.
One OK Rock. Okay.
Yeah, they're like a mix of rock and pop.
Awesome. Okay. So we've got our music covered.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what about books and movies? Like, are there any that can give us a deeper understanding of Japan?
Yeah, Japan has an amazing literary tradition
Okay.
and some great films.
Hmm.
So for books, you could start with The Tale of Genji.
The Tale of Genji. Okay.
It's considered like the world's first novel.
Wow. Okay.
And then there's Kokoro by Natsume Saseki.
Koro. Okay.
Yeah, it's a really beautiful, poignant story
Okay.
about the human heart.
All right. I'm adding those to my list.
Yeah.
What about movies?
Okay, for movies, definitely watch Seven Samurai.
Seven Samurai.
It's by Akira Kurosawa.
Okay.
It's like an epic samurai adventure.
Okay.
And then there's Tokyo Story.
Tokyo Story.
It's by Yasujiro Ozu.
Okay.
It's a very moving film about family and like the passage of time.
Okay. I'm adding those to my watch list.
Ah.
Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk about something that's important to me when I travel.
Okay.
Giving back to the local community.
Ah, yes.
Like, are there opportunities to volunteer in Japan or to support local organizations?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, giving back is a great way to show your appreciation
Yeah.
for the hospitality that you'll experience in Japan.
Right. So what kind of volunteer opportunities are out there?
Well, if you're into environmental conservation,
Okay.
there are organizations working to protect Japan's natural beauty.
Okay.
You could, help clean up beaches, plant trees,
Okay.
participate in wildlife conservation.
Cool. What about like donating to charities or NGOs?
There are lots of great organizations working on different social issues in Japan.
Okay.
Things like poverty, homelessness, disaster relief.
Right.
Do some research and find one that resonates with you.
Okay. Any like specific organizations you recommend?
You could look into the Japanese Red Cross Society,
Okay.
Habitat for Humanity Japan,
Okay.
the Ashinaga Foundation.
All right. I'll check those out. Now, besides volunteering and donating, are there other ways to, like, make a positive impact?
Yeah, you can just support local businesses.
Okay.
You know, eat at local restaurants, shop at local stores,
Yep.
stay in locally owned accommodations.
Right.
It all helps.
Yeah, keeps the money in the community.
Exactly.
I love that.
Mm.
Okay, so we've talked about so much today.
We have.
From the nitty-gritty of planning an itinerary and budget
Mm-hmm.
to really immersing ourselves in the culture.
Yeah, it's all part of the experience.
It is. I feel like we've covered everything we need to know to plan an amazing trip to Japan.
I think we've given them a good foundation.
Yeah, but, there's always more to discover.
Always.
What are some things that you think our listeners should kind of keep in mind as they're planning their trip?
I think the most important thing is to just, be present.
Yeah.
Savor each moment.
Okay.
The flavors, the sights, the sounds, the encounters.
Yeah.
Even if you don't speak the language, try to connect with the local people.
Right.
A smile, a gesture, a willingness to learn.
It goes a long way.
It goes a long way.
That's beautiful.
And remember, the journey doesn't end when you come home.
Yeah.
Those memories, the experiences, the lessons you learn, those stay with you.
We do. Japan is truly a gift. To our listener, we hope this deep dive has, sparked your wanderlust.
Yeah, we hope it's inspired you to explore this amazing country.
Absolutely. And that you feel confident to plan your own Japanese adventure.
Yeah, happy travels.
Happy travels.